Imagine someone you love dearly, the one who raised you, guided you, and was always there for you, quietly showing signs that their time is slipping away. Would you notice? Aging is a natural part of life, but sometimes the body whispers warnings so subtle, they're easy to miss. These aren't loud alarms or dramatic changes, but small, heartbreaking shifts that carry a profound truth. While some elderly loved ones stay vibrant and sharp, others begin to fade, their bodies hinting at a deeper journey. Research shows these signs often appear in the final year of life. Yet most families overlook them until it's too late. Today, we'll uncover 5 subtle signs that could mean an elderly loved one is nearing the end of their path. Stay with me, because recognizing these signs can help you be there for them, making every moment count with love and presence. Sign 1: withdrawal from conversations and social interactions. You walk into a room where your elderly loved one used to light up the space with stories, laughter, or questions about your day. Maybe they were the one who always called to check in or loved chatting about family gatherings. But now, something feels different. They're sitting there, silent, almost like they're fading into the background. Their answers are short, a nod here, a brief word there, and they seem disconnected from the world around them. At first, you might think they're just tired or lost in thought. But what if this quietness is more than a mood? What if it's a deep signal that their time is drawing near? One of the most telling signs that an elderly person may be in their final year is a slow withdrawal from conversations and social interactions. It's not just about talking less. It's about pulling away from life itself. You might notice they no longer ask about your day or show interest in family events. Their once curious spark is replaced by distant nods or one-word replies. Invitations to gatherings might be met with a hesitant, maybe, or they sit quietly in a corner, half listening, their minds somewhere else. It's as if they're stepping back, not just from the conversation, but from the world they once knew. This isn't boredom or a bad day. Research from psychologists and hospice nurses shows this is a natural part of nearing the end. The body and mind begin to let go of social ties, not out of choice, but as an instinctive shift toward an inner world. It starts subtly. Maybe they used to love debating the news or sharing old stories, but now they sit passively, barely reacting. Conversations that once brought joy seem to float past them. Their energy for the outside world fades, and with it, their presence in daily life. Here's where many families miss the mark. They might feel hurt, wondering, why doesn't Dad talk to me anymore? Or, why doesn't Grandma care about my life like she used to? It's easy to take it personally, to think they've lost interest in you. But the truth is, they care deeply. They just don't have the same pull to the outside world anymore. Their focus turns inward, reflecting on memories, processing their life, and quietly preparing for what's next. If you see this happening, the worst thing you can do is push them to talk or act like their old self. Instead, meet them where they are. Sit with them in silence if that's what they need. Share a memory or play a song from their past. Sometimes, just being there, without expecting words, is the greatest gift. Studies show that simple acts, like looking at old photos together or holding their hand, can bring comfort and connection, even when words are few. If this feels familiar, you know you're not alone. This withdrawal is a sign many miss until it's too late. It's a chance to show love by being present, by honoring their quiet moments, and by letting them feel seen. Stick with me, because the next sign carries an even deeper truth, one that can change how you show up for the ones you love. Sign 2: loss of appetite. You're sitting down for a meal with your elderly loved one, someone who's always been there, maybe the one who cooked your favorite dishes growing up. But lately, you notice they're barely touching their food. They push their plate away, saying, "I'm just not hungry." Or, I ate earlier. At first, it feels like no big deal, just a passing moment. But what if this isn't just a moment? What if it's a quiet warning that their body is slowing down? A consistent drop in appetite, where food becomes less and less important, is one of the most overlooked signs that an elderly person may be in their final year. It doesn't happen all at once. One day, they skip breakfast. The next, their dinner plate sits half full. Slowly, food becomes an afterthought. Their favorite meals, the ones that used to light up their face, now sit untouched. You might hear them say, "Food doesn't taste the same anymore." Or, "I just don't feel like eating." It's tempting to brush it off as a normal part of aging. But here's the hard truth. This isn't just aging. Research shows that when the body nears its final stage, it needs less energy. The digestive system slows, absorbing fewer nutrients, and hormonal changes dampen hunger signals. But it's not just physical. There's an emotional side most people miss. As someone approaches the end, they often lose interest in food because they're no longer tied to the future, to the next meal, the next holiday, or the next anything. Their body, almost instinctively, begins to let go. You might start noticing subtle weight loss, a belt that needs tightening, a shirt that hangs loose, or their face and hands looking thinner, as if they're quietly fading from the physical world. This can be heartbreaking, especially when families don't realize what's happening. They might think their loved one is just being picky, or that their taste buds are changing. They try new recipes, urge them to eat more, or even plead, "Just take one more bite." When that doesn't work, frustration creeps in. But what if we approach this differently? What if we saw this loss of appetite not as a problem to fix, but as a natural part of their journey? Instead of pushing them to eat, focus on comfort. Offer small portions of foods they love, but don't pressure them. Sometimes, it's not about the food at all. It's about sitting together, sharing a quiet moment, and making them feel loved. Studies from hospice care show that forcing food can cause discomfort, but being present brings peace. If you're seeing this in someone you care about, I know you're not alone. This is a chance to show love in a new way, to honor their process, and to make every moment meaningful. Stay with me, because the next sign is even harder to spot, but just as important. Sign 3: increased sleep and fatigue. Think about your elderly loved one. Maybe the person who used to wake up early, bustling through their day with purpose, always ready for a chat or a walk. But lately, you've noticed a change. They're sleeping more, dozing off in their chair during the day, or struggling to stay awake. Even during moments they used to love, their nights might seem restless, and their days are filled with long stretches of exhaustion. You might assume it's just aging, that they're slowing down like everyone does. But what if this isn't just tiredness? What if it's a deeper sign that their body is preparing for the end? One of the most overlooked yet powerful signs that an elderly person may be in their final year is a noticeable drop in energy and a shift in sleeping habits. It's not just about feeling a bit worn out. It's a fundamental change in how their body works. You might see them napping more often, sleeping longer than usual, yet still seeming drained when they're awake. They struggle to get out of bed, their movements slower, their drive to start the day fading. Some days, it feels like they're drifting in and out of sleep, more absent than present. This isn't laziness or a lack of effort. Research from doctors and hospice nurses shows this is the body's way of conserving energy, redirecting its focus from daily tasks to a gradual slowing down process. As the body nears its final stage, it instinctively knows it doesn't need to sustain itself for the long haul anymore. The heartbreaking part is how subtle this starts. At first, you might think they're just a little more tired. Maybe they had a rough night. But then the pattern grows. They start skipping activities they once enjoyed, choosing to rest instead. Conversations that used to spark energy now seem to tire them out. Even simple things, like getting up from a chair or walking across the room, feel heavier than before. Many families misread this sign. They might think their loved one needs more exercise, more fresh air, or a better sleep schedule. They encourage them to stay active, go for walks, or try to keep busy. But what if we saw this differently? What if we recognize their need for rest as a natural part of their journey, not something to fix? Instead of pushing them to be more awake, we can honor this process. Studies show that excessive fatigue in the final year is common, and forcing activity can cause discomfort. If you notice this in someone you love, adjust your expectations. Be there for their waking moments. No matter how brief, sit with them, hold their hand, or talk softly. Even if their eyes are closing, it's not about how long they stay awake, but the comfort they feel when they're with you. This is a chance to cherish every second, to show love by being present, and to make their moments of wakefulness meaningful. You're not alone if this resonates. This sign is one many miss, but recognizing it can change how you show up. Stay with me, because the next sign is deeply emotional and holds a truth you won't want to miss. Sign 4, sudden emotional clarity and peace. Picture your elderly loved one, maybe someone who's carried stress or worries for years, always fretting over life's details or holding on to old regrets. Then, suddenly, something shifts. They start speaking with a calmness you've never seen before. They express gratitude instead of complaints, share stories they've kept hidden for years, or even make peace with past conflicts. It's as if a weight has lifted and they're more open, more reflective, more at peace than ever. At first, this feels comforting, even uplifting. But what if this newfound clarity is more than just a good day? What if it's a profound sign that their journey is nearing its end? One of the most striking signs that an elderly person may be in their final year is a sudden emotional clarity, a deep acceptance of life, and a peaceful presence that wasn't there before. Research from doctors and hospice nurses shows this happens often, as if the mind and spirit sense the body's time is limited and choose to embrace it rather than fight it. This isn't about weakness or decline. It's the opposite. A quiet strength, a moment of deep awareness. You might notice them talking about their life with a clarity that stops you in your tracks. They share memories in vivid detail, even ones you thought they'd forgotten. They might reach out to old friends or family, mending broken ties, or offering forgiveness where there was once anger. Some even say things that send chills down your spine, like, "I've lived a good life," or "I'm ready whenever my time comes." These words can be hard to hear, and it's tempting to push them away, to say, "Don't talk like that. You've got years left." But what if we listened instead? What if we honored their truth rather than trying to change it? This peace doesn't happen to everyone, but when it does, it's a moment to cherish. Studies show that many people nearing the end experience this shift. Reflecting on their life with a sense of closure, they might share wisdom, tell stories, or express love in ways they never did before. If you see this in someone you love, don't interrupt or correct them. Be there, listen to their heart, let them share whatever they need to say, because these moments are precious. This is a chance to connect on a deeper level, to show love by being fully present, and to honor their journey with respect. You're not alone if you've seen this shift. It's a sign many don't recognize until it's too late, but understanding it can transform how you show up. Stay with me, because the final sign is the most heart-wrenching of all, and you won't want to miss it. Sign 5, the last surge or rally. Your elderly loved one, someone who's been fading for months, barely eating, hardly speaking, and sleeping through most of the day. You've watched them grow weaker, and your heart aches seeing them slip away. Then, out of nowhere, something extraordinary happens. They wake up with a spark you haven't seen in ages. Their eyes shine brighter. Their voice is stronger. And for the first time in a long time, they seem like their old self again. They sit up, ask for their favorite meal, laugh, joke, or dive into deep conversations like they used to. It feels like a miracle, like they're turning a corner. But what if this burst of energy isn't a sign of recovery? What if it's their body's final farewell? This moment, known as the last surge or rally, is one of the most heart-wrenching signs that an elderly person may be in their final days or weeks. Research from doctors and hospice caregivers shows that this sudden burst of clarity and energy often happens just before a rapid decline. It might last a few hours, sometimes a full day, but it almost always leads to their passing soon after. Families who see this often feel a mix of hope and confusion. They think, maybe they're getting better. Or, maybe the doctors were wrong. But then, just as quickly as it came, the energy fades, and they slip into deep fatigue, often leaving this world within days. While science doesn't fully understand why this happens, many believe it's the body's last effort to connect, to say goodbye, and to share one final moment of presence. It's as if they're given a gift, a brief window to share words, memories, or love they couldn't express before. Some use this time to offer advice, tell stories, or say things they've held back for years. Others simply sit quietly, soaking in the warmth of their family's presence. The tragedy is that many families miss the meaning of this moment. They focus on the hope of recovery, planning for tomorrow instead of cherishing the now. If you see this surge in someone you love, don't let it pass. Don't assume you have more time. Sit with them. Listen to every word. Hold their hand. Let them know they're loved, safe, and not alone. Studies show that these moments are often the body's way of offering closure, a chance to say what matters most. This is your opportunity to show love by being fully present, to make this final goodbye as meaningful as possible. You're not alone if you've witnessed this. It's a sign that catches many off guard, but understanding it can bring comfort in the midst of uncertainty. Stay with me, because next, we'll reflect on what these signs mean and how you can make every moment count. As we reflect on these 5 subtle signs: a loss of appetite, withdrawal from conversations, increased sleep, sudden emotional clarity, and the last surge of energy, it's clear that watching a loved one go through these changes is never easy. These signs often appear so quietly that they slip by unnoticed until it's too late. But now, you know what to look for. And that knowledge gives you the power to be there in ways that truly matter. Research from hospice care shows that being present during these moments can bring comfort and peace to both you and your loved one. This isn't about stopping the inevitable, but about making every second count. Sit with them, hold their hand, and let them know they are loved, safe, and never alone. Embrace their silence, honor their need for rest, and cherish their moments of clarity, because it's not about how much time you have, but how you use it. If these signs resonate with you, take a moment to share your story in the comments below. Your experience could comfort someone else walking this path. And if this video has touched your heart or helped you see things differently, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay connected for more insights on senior health, aging, and emotional well-being. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay present, and above all, cherish every moment with the ones who mean the most to you.